Good evening. My name's Emma Faust, and I'm the CEO of MedicalInformaticsCorp. At Medical Informatics, we provide doctors and nurses with better real-time information so that they can make better, faster decisions. This is Joe. He's an anesthesiologist, a doctor that works in intensive care units. He makes life or death decisions every single day that are often time critical. One such decision that he has to make on a regular basis is how to manage the blood pressure of a brain trauma patient. The challenge Joe faces is that this target blood pressure is literally a moving target. What's good for me is not necessarily good for you. And if he sets a blood pressure that is too high, it can result in brain trauma. If he sets a blood pressure that is too low, the patient can stroke out and die. Today, Joe goes around the intensive care unit to gather information and then uses his clinical expertise to make a decision on what that target blood pressure should be. He'll first stop at the patient's bedside, where he'll see the last 30 seconds of vital signs coming from his patient. But this alone does not give Joe enough information to determine what that target blood pressure should be. He'll also stop by a computer terminal where he'll log into the electronic medical records. There he'll find the most recent medication and labs. But again, this does not give Joe the information he needs to answer his question. And then he'll go around to the nurses and the other doctors, gathering even more information on the current status of his patient. But even all this together does not help him figure out what that target blood pressure should be. Joe faces a constant struggle of whether he should continue to collect more data on his patient and more information by running around the hospital while his patient is potentially getting worse, or does he make a decision now and act on it with the information that he has? This is where we come in. Medical Informatics has a software solution that allows us to collect all the real-time physiological data from Joe's patient. We collect it, store it, and process it in real time so that Joe can basically go to his mobile device, whether it's iPad, iPhone, and find out what is the target blood pressure he should set for his patient. And then he can use his clinical judgment on how to best treat his patient. He doesn't have to run around the hospital. We can give Joe better information in real time so that ultimately he can make better and faster decisions. Medical Informatics doesn't just help Joe and his colleagues find that target blood pressure. We have an entire pipeline of applications that answer that question and more, such as a better apnea monitor or better alert for ventilator-associated pneumonia. These are all time-critical decisions that doctors make every day, and they don't have help to make those decisions. This is the Medical Informatics team that's going to bring this software and decision support solutions to every hospital in the United States. I have a background in electrical and computer engineering. I've done my MBA with a healthcare concentration here at Rice, and have spent a little bit of time in venture capital. Craig Russin, our Chief Technology Officer. He's a professor of medicine at Baylor. He built the system because he needed it to do his work. Jess Fenlon is our VP of Marketing and Sales. She has over 8 years' experience selling software to large corporations and hospitals. Ralph Krogh is our Chief Compliance Officer. He has over 30 years' experience developing software for both NASA and Lockheed Martin. Chris Raff is our Chief Financial Officer. He has worked in consulting and also developed medical devices with NASA. And yes, Joe, he's actually named Joe, is an anesthesiologist who works here in Houston and has spent the last 13 years practicing in critical care environments. This summer in Allspark, we've also had the pleasure of working with 3 interns, Krista, Nam, and Dylan. We actually began this company back in 2010, where we tested the platform and our software solution at University of Virginia's Medical Center. In 2011, we decided to relocate to Houston, Texas, so that we could be next to the largest medical center in the world. In 2012, we signed our first customer, Texas Children's Hospital. And earlier this year, in 2013, we've already raised around $800,000 in capital, some of it from investors and some of it as initial revenue. Looking forward, we have a bunch of milestones ahead of us. Before the end of the year, we'll have our platform registered with the FDA, and in 2014, we'll be working on both developing and our initial application for clinical use and submitting it to the FDA for approval. In 2015 and beyond, we plan to continue to develop these critical applications for Joe and his colleagues. Along with meeting our milestones this year, we have also focused on developing critical partnerships. Next year, we would like to expand into 2 to 3 more development partner hospitals that can help us validate our clinical products. We've already had this summer developed 3 qualified leads, and one hospital CEO was quoted as saying, "I want your system," after seeing our demo. We've also been exploring corporate partnerships. One such partnership that we've been on a lot of meetings on recently has resulted in us sitting down with the other side, coming up with a timeline of how we're going to integrate our products over the next year, which means that in 2015, we will have access to over 100 hospitals to install our joint product. Today, I'm here to ask for help. We're looking for mentors to help us negotiate the growth of our company over the next 2 years. We're looking for building investing relationships, because in 2014, we'll be seeking our Series A financing. And finally, we're looking for strategic partners, whether that's a healthcare organization or a medical device company. Thank you so much for your time, and by investing in medical informatics, you can help save lives bit by bit. Thank you so much.